Okay, so I told people in our local community I was going to make this video a while ago, and I finally got around to doing it. So this video is going to explain all of my issues with this thing over here, right here, and why everybody on the internet should be complaining about this guy and not the other dumb characters you're talking about. This guy is going to slide into Season 3 just as busted as he was in Season 1 and 2 because nobody talks about this guy because nobody plays him. I'll explain why I think that is later. First off, I just want to say, Season 1, I was a Necalli player up until Balrog came out. I made the transition over to Balrog. Season 2, I played Balrog the whole time. So I know stupid when I see stupid, and this thing is stupid. This thing is the definition of stupid. How this guy doesn't get complained about makes no sense to me. And this is going to be all of my issues that I have with Necalli as a character. So first off, I'm just going to dive right in. I feel like, in my opinion, there is no point in the game where Necalli is at a disadvantage based on the kit that he has. So I'm just going to go over some of his basic normals and some of the things. The biggest thing I have is this right here. Stand Light Kick. This button is so good. So good. As a meaty, just for poking stuff out here, setting up into command grab because you're still in range for some reason. And, by the way, you know, it's +2. But not only is it +2, it's got 4 active frames. So in a situation where you get a knockdown and maybe, like you said, you have somebody in the corner or they try to jump out, they think a command grab's coming, you can raw combo into a medium if you do your meaties correctly, which, as a Street Fighter player, your job is to do your meaties correctly, right? So I get the knockdown here, and I can just go to town with anything, right? So I might, if the guy on the other side's like, oh, I gotta be worried about so many different options. Meanwhile, I've got an option that most other characters in the game say, like, they gotta change it up, right? I think the person's gonna jump here, maybe I only get a light kick meaty, or, oh, I'm worried about what they're gonna do, right? Necalli, no, Necalli doesn't care, because that raw combos into medium kick if you do your meaties right. Look at that. 4 active frames. And if you block it and he doesn't meaty, that means he's no longer just +2, now he's +5. And on hit, he's +7. So traps that aren't a thing suddenly become a thing, and the button's dumb. Afterwards, Pixel Step Throw, which leads, of course, to throw loops because, you know, Street Fighter V. And he's still in range for both EX and Light Command Grab. And in the corner, both of those are amazing. Mid-screen, you're still going to get setups. You throw the DP out. Oh, look, I can dash up and I'm +1. Go ahead and continue on. Now that we've talked about that button. Stand medium kick. Almost equally as stupid. Probably just as stupid. Everything this character has is stupid. This button, everybody talks about Laura's knee and Kuma's knee and everybody else's knees. This button is +2. Range on it's pretty decent, but the problem that gets opened up is you have this, and it's kind of like the Street Fighter V thing. The real pressure opens up the fake pressure, right? So if Necalli's hitting you, and say you're blocking, right? So you're scared to death because you don't want to get hit because you don't want to get knocked down because, you know, Necalli gets setups on everything, right? So you're blocking all day. So, oh, okay, I have this 3-hit thing that, you know, is just going to frame trap back to back to back. But now all of a sudden I start noticing you're blocking, so I'm going to mix something in, right? I'm going to do medium kick, step, medium kick, step, medium kick. So now in your mind, you're like, well, this dude's doing something that's unsafe. Or if you're a 4-frame character and the dude's a god, he's just stepping for 1 frame and then doing medium kick. So you're like, okay, I gotta jab him out of this, right? I have to jab here on what could very well be a frame trap because I can't keep letting him get this fake pressure. But the one time you know, oh, I'm gonna jab this time because he's done knee, step, knee. I don't think he'll do it a 4th time, or I think, you know, he's done it 3 times. He'll do it a 4th time. He's crazy, right? He's a Necalli player. Oh, hit a crouching medium punch that time, buffered into stomp. So you got counter hit and it comboed. Now he's quite a bit plus. He might be distance from you, but that means like out here, say you block a stomp here. He can press heavy kick. He can press low forward. He's going to be +5, I believe it is, on the hit for medium punch. So if you have a 4 frame, you got to hold this because this is 9 frames. He can sweep because, you know, Sweep with Necalli is fantastic when you get a crush counter because you get even more setups. So we'll go ahead and continue on from there. By the way, I'm going to be throwing some various situations at the end of this just so I can kind of explain to you when some of this applies and why I think it's just as dumb as it is. So now we got stand heavy kick. This button right here. Crush counter. Comboable at all ranges thanks to the light punch dash. -4 leads to a knockdown, gives you V meter, great poke. Average startup, definitely not slow by any means, and if done correctly, it leaves you at this really awkward distance right here, right? So Necalli throws this out, and you're Akuma, or you're any character in the game, really. You have a 3-frame or 4-frame jab, that's the only thing that's going to punish this. And he does it right here. You going to reach him with this? You're not going to reach him with this. Oh, and look at that. Weird. Your 5-frame medium punch also doesn't reach. So then Necalli does this thing that a lot of characters in Street Fighter V do, where they do the stun, or they do the heavy kick, and then they just buffer medium punch into the dash punch. So you're like, I think this is a good space in here for me to press medium, and it whiffs. Or you say, I know medium's not going to hit here, so I'm going to walk forward. And you walk in, and you get clipped by the medium punch, and you get knocked down, and the blender starts all over again. So the button's done. Now we're going to go to this button. A regular, this button's alright. It's decent. It's got its uses. There's better buttons outside of V-Trigger. But in V-Trigger, this becomes such a good button. Why is that? Because at all ranges, for some reason, this button will combo into heavy dash, which gives a fantastic setup, which means when you're sitting out here, you just do this all day, right? Oh, and because Necalli's in V-Trigger, he doesn't need charge for any of his charge moves, so he can just like, oh, I'll just keep doing this. You know, it's Street Fighter V. Good luck with punishing this. I mean, look how fast this is. It's like 6 frames, and it's got pretty low recovery. So he's just gonna sit out here and he's gonna do this all day, right? And then you're Akuma, right? So you're like, I'm gonna try to walk up. Maybe I'll press stand medium punch, right? Or I'll try to stand fierce him and see if I can crush counter it. Oh, but he delayed it that time, right? And you just got hit, and now all of a sudden, boom, knockdown. All right, setups, meaties, nonsense all day because Necalli. As soon as you start getting touched by this character, as soon as he knocks you down, you are in a 50-50 after almost every single button, and it's frustrating. Continuing in V-Trigger, stand heavy punch. This button, let me just make sure I have this correct. This button in V-Trigger has 4 active frames, just like stand medium kick. So you're going to be in a situation, excuse me, not 4, 5. It's got 5. That's because it's got the perfect number to cover both quick rise and back roll on setups. So there are a couple setups that do this, where Necalli will knock you down, and his active frames will extend from the, if you quick rise, it'll crush your 3-frame if you wake up with it, and it'll extend over into back roll, and it'll hit your back roll when you wake up. So it doesn't actually meaty the quick rise, but it beats it on priority and gives him a crush counter, which allows him to just autopilot a lot of situations. Same thing goes for, a lot of people do this in the mid-screen. If they get, say, medium punch into dash punch, they'll do the dash up light kick stomp. This was something that Brian had found a while ago, where it'll cover the, it'll trade with your 3-frame on the quick rise, and it'll hit the back roll and counter hit it because of the extra active frames. Stand heavy punch kind of does the same thing. It lets you cover both rolls, which every setup or every knockdown Necalli has both rolls. In some cases he can't cover both, but it's reactable to where it's manually timed for the back roll, but if you react correctly, you can heavy punch or take a step heavy punch. So he's still able, even mid-screen, to apply pressure after a knockdown in nearly every scenario. So now I'm going to go back. V-skill. Another one of the lists that just nullifies fireballs. You throw a fireball out here at Akuma, right? You're like, oh, great, this is a great thing right here. I'm going to throw my fireball. I'm safe against every other character in the game, even Balrog. Balrog's great V-skill. I can throw the fireball here. I don't have to worry about anything. Not against Necalli. 3/4 screen, you're not allowed to throw projectiles. Half screen? Why? I'll take the trade. You want to throw a projectile? Boom. I don't have charge? Oh, because, you know, I also have this tool over here that's armored against projectiles. So that'll charge through projectiles, but also I can do this, right? And if you block it or get hit by it, I get crazy V-meter. And if I hit you with it to punish your fireball, then I get hit by the fireball, I almost build a full bar, which means I can turn God mode that much quicker. Anyways, so something I saw as well, because, and I feel like this was more effective back when the game was at 8 frames and not like the slightly less. I'm pretty sure it was GamerBee that I saw doing this first. I mean, I could be completely wrong, it's just who I saw. But the arm up action for V-Skill, people were starting to react to it. And because it's got 25 frames of startup in regular and 20 outside in V-Trigger, excuse me, people would see him start to come up, so they would jump at him to punish it. Well, people like GamerBee, and I believe I've seen Phenom do it and a couple others, they'll mid-screen here where they're not going to get whiff punished or get hit by something, they'll throw. So they see you kind of reel back in that similar animation, and the people will jump, like, oh, I'm going to jump on the V-Skill. Now all of a sudden you're jumping at Necalli, who has 2 absolutely fantastic anti-air DPs that hit the universe. Have you ever tried to neutral jump this man on his wake up? It doesn't happen. You get hit, you can be behind his head, and he throws the claw back there, and he's like, excuse me, no, you're staying right here. So you jump at Necalli, all of a sudden you're getting anti-air DP'd because you're whiffing the throw with the intention to get them to jump, so you're ready to DP. It's not like, oh, I'm going to try to get a good jump here, and maybe he wasn't prepared to DP. It was, I'm whiffing the throw because I want you to jump. Now that you've jumped, DP. Now it's my turn, and it's never not my turn because I'm Necalli. Okay, so now that we've covered V-Skill, I'm going to go ahead and transition back over to another annoying part of dealing with Necalli. Necalli, much like Rashid and a lot of other characters, has a fantastic jump heavy punch with the arm that arcs downwards and seems to pull his hitbox, or his hurtbox backs, and just stuff almost all of your anti-airs. So it makes you want to set up into this awkward location where you're going to be able to anti-air Necalli regardless of if he presses this button or not. So you either start anti-airing early to make sure that his arm is not extended and hitting you out of your anti-air, or you're positioning a little bit farther away to maybe try to get the jump into whiff, right? Here's what Necalli can do outside of that. If Necalli jumps at you, right, and he sees maybe you're a character who's got a jab anti-air or a medium punch anti-air. He's also got a dive kick. You know, another option that this character apparently needed. So, a dive kick, by the way, that he'll be able to combo off of, or, you know, end the DP. Alright, maybe not regular. So maybe Capcom needs to buff that. So, in V-Trigger, he'll be able to combo into either EX Stomp or into DP, which EX Stomp's going to leave him +2. He's not going to be in throw range, but he can, as a real trap, crouching medium punch, or if he thinks you're going to block there, he can step up command grab. So, getting hit by the dive kick immediately, like everything else, you get hit by something and suddenly you're in the mix-up again. If, say you're doing the thing where, like, you're standing at an outside range to try to get this to whiff, or to maybe extend, say you have an anti-air that has a better box forward, so you're trying to position yourself to where it's going to work better for you. Necalli also has another fantastic jump in with his heavy kick. So this button, for some reason, hits way out there, right? So you say normally, right, at say, at like this range here, right? This is barely going to hit here. So I'll take a step back and notice how that whiffs. If I take a step back here and heavy kick still hits. So you're like, oh, I'm gonna push myself back, right? Maybe I'm gonna try to walk backwards a little bit here. I see him jump. I'm not convinced my anti-air is gonna work. So I'm gonna back myself up a little bit, and then I'm gonna try to like maybe hit him on the ground, or I'm gonna try to like a bison crouch jab anti-air when he starts getting lower. Oh, by the way, you know, this button still hits a mile away off of his body. So he's gonna be able to extend his leg way out and hit you, as well as as early as this button will hit and allow you to combo, this button you can kind of delay and say you have a somebody who's got a jab anti-air that's only got like 1 or 2 active, or it's 2 active frames. So they're instinctively trying to anti-air you early as the arm is still going active. Well, now you can delay heavy kick and stick it out super late. Super late. Look how late. Look how far I can sit back here, right? And just stick that thing out last second. So you see Necalli, and your brain goes, because you know Street Fighter V, your brain goes jab anti-air. So Necalli waits on his button, keeps his hurt box way away from you, and then suddenly just launches that kick out and stuffs your anti-air, or hits you when your anti-air is past active frames. Now all of a sudden you just got jumped in on by Necalli, and he's gonna make it hurt. He's gonna knock you down. He's gonna get a setup, and you're in the absolute worst possible situation you could be in. You get what I'm like trying to, you get what I'm trying to say here? Don't get touched by Necalli. So go ahead and transition over. I'm gonna throw a couple situations at you, so that way you can kind of get an idea how I was shown with the jump-ins of why all of his options kind of meld together and cause this stupid nonsense. Okay, so I'm gonna go over some of the kind of stupid situations that Necalli can really put you in that like trademark Street Fighter V bullshit. So in Season 1 to Season 2, one of the things they nerfed was the pushback, or nerf buffed. They pushed back, or nerfed the pushback on hit and on block for like kick stomp. Originally, it was super easy to space this to where it wasn't punishable. It's now still pretty easy. I mean, we're gonna see how far I am away from this afterwards. On block, it's a little different. There's even less pushback on block now, so it's easier to punish, but it's still not like the easiest thing in the world. And of course, if I hit it out here, like sometimes it's not even gonna hit, but the pushback is so much you're not gonna punish it on block. What this changed though is on hit, you're so much closer now. It's almost like, oh wait, you are close enough to command grab now. So now not only after getting hit by light kick stomp up close, you have to worry about the button or the command grab. So you'll find yourself either backdashing, jumping here, and either getting air reset, or say Necalli like blocks or tries to shimmy you. Say he does this, right? Walk in, walk out, shimmy. You have another option on top of that now because they nerfed the pushback on hit. So ideally, they probably would have been better off just nerfing the pushback on block, because there's no reason for you to be able to do this anywhere on the screen. Especially when you can do it with, like, EX. First, let's stop. You can do it with EX here, and you can sweep, you can DP if you're in the corner, and you DP, you get a good setup. Like, there's just so much you can get off of some of the options that just didn't need to happen. They could have just nerfed the pushback on block and made it easier to punish like it is now. But nerfing the pushback on hit just kind of added almost like a fake 50-50 situation, because he can command grab. Even though you can jab out of the command grab, it's still something that he can do. So you have to consciously say, am I going to jab here to try to beat the command grab? If he does medium punch into medium stomp, it's going to combo, and now he's plus, again, he's pushed out, but he's plus, which means he can press heavy punch, he can press crouching medium kick if you're a 4-frame, and it just leads into more offense off of something that was arguably not necessary in the first place. They could have left it where it was before, where the pushback was similar to like EX Stomp, right? EX Stomp, you're in range for medium kick, or medium punch here. But if you just raw command grab, it's not going to reach. After EX Stomp, you have to pixel step and then command grab, which adds, of course, his command grab is a longer startup than everybody else's. So it adds that extra little bit of time for the person to walk up and hit the button. This also allows you to do the delay jab to kind of blow it up, because if he does medium punch right away, and you say delay your jab by a frame or two, you'll get the block on the medium punch, or you'll jab him out of the walk up. So you had a better way to deal with that, and you could apply that to light kick stomp up close. Well, now You're just straight up saying, like, do I think he's going to command grab here? Do I think he's going to hit the button? Do I jab? Do I jump? Do I try to challenge? Oh, I got hit. Oh, I got command grab. So it's a situation that got put in that didn't need to get put in. Another thing that kind of spawned from Twitter, actually, Javits put up a tweet. It was after Tokido got bodied by the Balrog online after one jump in. And the idea was, how many characters can kill Akuma with first combo being a jump in, second combo starting from a light? Necalli not only can do that to previous 875 health Akuma, he can also do it to 900 health Akuma and to 900 health 950 stun Karen, which I'll go ahead and show you now. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and show you the combo that I'm talking about, and I'll kind of explain why I feel like it's ridiculous afterwards. So here's the thing. This kind of combines a couple different reasons why Necalli kind of hits all the boxes for what you need to do to be able to do this on somebody. Necalli has the light kick that combos into medium kick on the meaty, which, as you saw, I've had no problem doing it this whole time. Sure, on occasion you might miss your meaties. It happens. But it's still, even if it doesn't combo, it's still a frame trap. You're still, like, there's no bad about this. If this hits, but that doesn't, or if they just, for some reason, held up the whole time and got hit by both, you can still continue your combo. It doesn't, if you do it correctly, even if you don't get an actual meaty where the last active frame hits, and you're hitting on their first wake-up frame, let's say your second active frame instead of the fourth, you're still going to keep them grounded. You're still going to continue pressure. You're still going to be able to do stuff there. It's not like, oh, I missed my meaty by one frame. Well, now they got air reset. You're still in a good position. Having the ability to do this and get the raw combo puts you in an even better position. So, the reason this works is, of course, like I said, it checks a couple boxes. So this combos into medium kick. The other thing, in V-Trigger, because stand medium punch combos into heavy dash punch at all ranges, like I said, it allows you to get the extra tiny little bit of damage being in V-Trigger on the stun, to then go into super, which because Street Fighter V only has 50% minimum scaling, or excuse me, maximum scaling on supers, it's never going to do less than 50%. So I have all those hits beforehand to get the stun, and I still do, when I go into critical art, I'm going to do a massive chunk of damage, because for whatever reason, Capcom decided that 10 damage was enough to take off of this. I believe it still does 370? It went from like 380 to 370. That's insane. So, Necalli is going to if Necalli has super and V-Trigger popped, like, you're going to get touched and you're going to get executed. It's insane. It's just going to happen. Unless you have a way to stop him. If you have bar, if you have V-Reversal, if you have something to get him off of you, because he's going to stick to you like glue, and as soon as he gets it confirmed, it's going to do probably 30 to 40%. And if he's got V-Trigger and super, odds are he's chipped enough away at you, unless it's been one of those rounds where you've run train over him and now he's trying to make a comeback. Odds are you're both going to be around the, say, 50 to 40% mark. He's going to need a confirm to kill you, and that's it. And when you have all the options that he has, plus a godlike dash that goes so far. I mean, I remember Season 1 hitting people with this all the time. You know, the dash up low forward into V-Trigger? You know what's coming. Or if they start reacting to that, right? So because it's 9 frames, you dash up, now you start doing jab. So you just cut 6 frames off of your dash in, and now all of a sudden they went from counter hitting you to getting counter hit here. So you go, oh, jab, medium, I'm going to pop V-Trigger there, and I'm still going to, you know, do tons of damage and get 50-50s, and... So when I started exploring Javits' challenge, I moved on to higher stun and higher health characters. I was able to still do it on Karen with her 50 more stun, but it was stuck in the corner. However, the same rules still apply. So... 900 health, 950 stun. I was still able to kill. So the thing to me that is the absolute worst about this, right? So when I do this first part where I get the knockdown, here in the corner, and say I do this a different way, right? Even any sort of way, I'm getting the knockdown there, and I'm doing something that is completely realistic on the wake up. Doing meaty light into the crouching medium punch or into stand medium kick is absolutely, it's completely realistic in the situation. And her holding up there is also realistic. In the corner, Necalli has throw loops. Like, I'll go ahead and show you here. Oh shit, I don't have anything recorded. I'll show you in a second. I'll go ahead and complain about that later. But Necalli has throw loops, just like every good Street Fighter V character. But he has this like situation where you're like, okay, I'm afraid of normal throw because he's gonna set up throw loops. I'm afraid of the meaty because like I said, if I try to jump or I try to backdash, I might get air reset, I might get counter hit, I might get crush countered if he does stand fierce. Or I'm afraid of command grab. So say you're in that situation, right, where I just did a ton of damage, and you're like, I don't want to take the throw here. Lately in Season 2, one of the things a lot of people have been doing is holding up forward on wake up to just jump out of the corner. If you wake up, jump forward, that situation where I hit you with a light kick meaty is going to keep you grounded. If you try to jump forward to be either the throws, command throw or normal throw, I'm going to get that whole thing into stun, and if I have super, you are going to die. So your one guess, you got hit by the jump in, sure, absolutely. Let's say the jump in wasn't the changer there. Let's say he had a little bit of stun beforehand, and we still set up that situation where you were close to stun, and I could get that whole thing with super. You made one bad guess, and you took so much damage from that. That is what this character does, all the time. Just non-stop. He puts you in horrible situations that could potentially change the round for the worse for you because you made a guess wrong once, and then it just all fell apart from there. And that's what's bullshit about this character. Capcom, what are you gonna do about this? Some of my other miscellaneous gripes about this character, of course, are one, just like anything else in Street Fighter V, he's got throw loops. So if you notice, I have her waking up jab here. You dash, you get the real throw loop, or you can light kick for the meaty. It's an immediate 50-50 situation that sets up. Now on the other side of this, if you do that situation where you jump forward and I try to throw, I can just DP you out of the air on the other side and I still get a setup. So yes, you lost the corner, but I'm still on offense and I'm still... It hasn't reset neutral. It's not like some characters where their anti-air or whatever they do potentially resets neutral, or it doesn't give them a good air reset where you're just like, I'm just going to down back here, and if I get thrown, whatever. Against Necalli, he's going to DP you, and he's going to be able to dash up, and then he's going to jab into stupid stuff. Like, he's going to continue his pressure, he's going to put in the fake stuff here and there, and he's just going to go crazy. So, the fact that he has a throw loop on top of everything else he has is just insane. And also, I've gone the whole time without talking about this, and I feel like this happens a lot when I play against people in casuals in Necalli. We'll play like 2, 3, 4 games, and it'll be like a random round of the 5th game, and they're low. And I'll think to myself, because, you know, I played the character before, I still have a good feel for him. Oh, you know what I haven't done this whole time? Overhead. And I'll hit him with overhead, right? And they'll be in that moment where I'll just see it on their face. Like, I'll look at him and they'll go, I forgot Necalli had an overhead. I've been so busy dealing with command throw loops, good buttons, great jump-ins, anti-air DP, DP on defense. I forgot he had an overhead. I just got hit by that because, you know, I was lulled to sleep by the sheer amount of options he has besides that. And now here's another one right on top of it. And it's crazy to me to think that this not only happens, but has happened to me so many times. I feel like I get that reaction way more than I'm supposed to. But, and then in V-Trigger, of course, against certain characters this works. I don't remember who all of them are. Karen, it obviously does not work. But mid screen, you do get medium kick. So you get so much off of every hit with this character. It's insane. I feel like there is never a point where Necalli is in a bad situation because his normals are good, his damage is really good, his V-trigger is amazing, and he just, like I said, he's got the EXDP for defense, he's got the 3DPs, so, you know, he's throwing invincible here. If he thinks a command grab's coming, or if he thinks a normal throw's coming, he can use that to break out. He's got great anti-airs. He's got what is basically the best projectile in the game. So, maybe not compared to Guile, but you know what I mean. Guile's fine. Don't talk shit about Guile. Guile's fine. So, I feel like when I play this character, there is never a time where I feel like, oh no, I'm in a horrible situation here. There's always, even if it's like me making a guess with the option, there's always like a cop-out. There's always a way to get out of situations. There's always a way to deal with things. And when I'm on offense, I have so many options. I feel like, and I think that's why a lot of people don't play Necalli. All of his options kind of feed into each other, right? Every wake-up is, do I do throw? Do I command grab? Or do I do light kick melee? Well, let's say this time I light kick melee. Well, afterwards, do I do pixel throw? Or do I do command grab? Or do I do medium kick? And then after the medium kick, you say, well, do I do medium kick, or do I medium kick, step medium kick, or do I crouch medium punch? And it's this same linear flow of, here's your options, pick one. Oh, did you pick this option? All right, step two, pick one of these two. All right, do this. All right, he's so flowchart in his offense that I feel like people don't really like playing this character because he's just boring. Like, one of the reasons I was so ready to switch to Balrog when Balrog came out, even though Balrog was way worse in Season 1 than Necalli. Necalli is just not fun to play. You play nearly every situation the same in terms of, like, these are your options, this is what you do. There was a point where Brian F was still playing this character, and he said it on stream once. He was like trying to find tech, trying to find stuff for all these situations against specific characters, and you would find things, right? Like you'd find some trade combos, or you'd find something cool that would beat a character's option, but it was never better than light kick, medium punch. And I think that's why people don't like really playing this character, and I think that's why he flies under the radar. There's so few Necalli players that people just kind of forget how insane this character is, and if he ends up being top tier again in Season 3, I might pull my hair out. So, thank you for watching. This has been KMC Hurricane and my long-ass rant that everybody's been waiting on for a while, so you're welcome, everybody. Don't talk too much shit down in the comments.